Check, check. Just making sure that mic is on. We're live. CFLW, the show for this Monday, May the 19th. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. It is a brutally hot day for us. It's been a very hot weekend for us. My temperatures are going crazy. Let me do that real quick. We're going to get into just how long this heat is going to last. I mean, what a ridiculous weekend that we've had. And sadly, we're only going to be building on it. So good to see you, friends, on this Monday across Central Florida, where you're viewing from across the world. We do have some folks who view us internationally. As we get started, CFLW, the show, sponsored by the leading law firm of Central Florida. You see their logo on the bottom third of your screen. They're your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. Friends, we're starting to get into storm season, and when a storm rolls through your area, you got hurricane damage, just hail damage, wind damage, whatever might impact your property, or if you've been in an auto accident. So you and your property, they've got you covered. They'll walk you through every step of the insurance claim process. They offer free consultation and policy reviews. You go to leanomelaw.com if you would like more information. In the comments section below, let me know what's been happening in your area. Have you guys been able to handle the heat? It has been an absolutely ridiculously hot forecast. Obviously, we talked about this on Friday's show. It bared fruit over the weekend. Nothing is going to change heat-wise in the short term. If nothing else, sadly, it may actually get a degree or two hotter in some spots. Now, I've got our areas of high pressure and low pressure here on our map. The computer has this high off of the West Coast, but really, the expansive high, let me show you what really is happening here. I'm going to go over to my telestration here. Really what we have is the true center of circulation of the high is actually here. Okay, and obviously you get clockwise winds around an area of high pressure, and it's pumping these south winds into the area. So it's true that the expanse of the high pressure goes that far, right? But really the center is here, and the clockwise winds around it will bring in the south wind. So when I show you the winds that you see here, you're going to mainly see a south wind in most spots. Now, of course, the coastal areas are going to prove me wrong on that, and let me clear this real quickly for you guys. But in a general sense, and I'll put on our 10-meter winds as well, most inland areas, if nothing else, should have a south component to their breeze. Okay. Could it be a little bit out of the east? Could it be a little bit out of the southwest as well? Yes, but again, variable winds there in Kissimmee. Sanford has a variable wind that's southwest. I mean, whatever touch of wind here late in the day should be out of the south. And you can actually see that it's billowing up some kind of high deck of clouds inland. But man, oh man, is it going to be brutally hot outside. Temperatures, as we've hit 1 o'clock today, have already snuck into the lower 90s. Pretty much area-wide. There's a couple of spots along the coast that'll be a little bit different, but look, even up in the Daytona Beach area, they're in at 90. Ormond Beach right now, coming in around 88 degrees. New Smyrna, 86. DeLand, 91. Sanford, 90 right now. Port St. John has hit 91. Again, you get just a bit of an east component to the wind in Satellite Beach towards the Space Force Station. They're in at 84. Melbourne, O'Galley, Palm Bay, 86 degrees. Sebastian in at 88. 91 already at the Bartow Lakeland area in at 90. Winter Haven, 90 as well. MCO 91, downtown Orlando in at 90. Extreme heat for today, and we're just going to pack it on here over the next couple of days. As a matter of fact, some of the records today look like this. Daytona Beach, 94. So we're just 4 degrees from that. Leesburg, 94. We are 4 degrees from that already. Sanford, 97. We're at 90 right now. Orlando, 98. We probably won't get there, but to make a run at 96 degrees is not out of the question. Melbourne, the record high is 95. Probably with just a touch of an easterly component to the wind, we should stay well below that. But there will be some inland locations that will try and make a run at getting close to record highs. I'm not sure we'll tie anything, but we will be really close. And again, it's just been so hot and it's been so dry lately as well. Don't expect that to really change much here. Now, we will obviously start to finally break this down at some point in time, right? We're not just going to be situated in the hot and the dry weather forever, but Is it going to be a few more days? The answer is yes. There is a massive storm system right now in the central portions of the United States. It's produced a lot of severe weather lately. Some of it has been very destructive. You guys might have heard over the weekend, the tornado that went through St. Louis. That storm system unfortunately had at least 32 fatalities. We had multiple large tornadoes yesterday, and we are going to see multiple, more than likely, large long track tornadoes again developing across portions of the plains and into the upper Midwest. Now, eventually this is all going to push south and east. Now, we will probably not get the severe weather threat with this, but it's going to try and bring us at least a break in the heat, the relief at least to get us some shower and storm chances in, try and cool things off slightly. But again, we're at peak right now, friends. We're not getting much higher than this time of the year. Live look outside for you right now. This is going to be our Conway cam again. Let me know in the comment section below that you're viewing. Let me know where you're viewing from. You have a specific question about the forecast as well. You can see some of those fair clouds developing at the hour. We looked at that on the visible satellite imagery. You can see that from the Conway cam. Bit of a breeze, but again, if it's going to freshen up this afternoon, it's going to mainly be out of the south, maybe even out of the southeast or southwest, but generally speaking, a south component to the wind in interior locations. And that means it's just going to get brutally hot the rest of the day. Just a few clouds right now in the Winter Garden area, the left-hand side of your screen. Oops, sorry about that. The left-hand side of your screen, we're looking from the south to the north. So again, these clouds are developing south and working their way north. So probably even a little bit more cloud coverage will be moving in to interior locations. Sure, that'll help maybe prevent that direct sunlight on you if you need to get out in the afternoon hours. But there's a lot of low-level moisture out here that's going to get trapped in with that extra cloud coverage. And then the Disney area, again, just very kind of hazy skies out there. Again, when the air is this dry, this is when you can get hotter. So it's tough to get to 96, 97 degrees in August because the humidity is so up, the dew points are so high that your relative humidity hits 100% when you get to 92, 93 degrees. You can't get much hotter than that. The feels like temperatures are going to be a story as well. It is going to be a concern of mine over the next couple of days here across the area. So let's get back over to the weather computer, and then we'll break down how that storm system is going to kind of impact us in the coming days. But in the shorter term, with this heat and the south winds, moisture coming back into play, feels like temperatures are going to be an issue. This is what it feels like outside right now. And again, I'll let it get to the current time and stop it. So you're going to see a couple of spots where feels like numbers are above what the actual temperature is. Is it going to be a huge range above the actual high? No. But even if your heat index or your feels like number is 5, 6, 7 degrees above your actual air temperature, and we're in the mid 90s, that means we've got some triple digit heat indices that'll be building in. Right now, it feels like it's 96 in Daytona Beach. It feels like it's 96 in Sanford. Here's the problem spot right now, southeast Orange County, MCO area, Lake Nona, Meadow Woods, Oak Ridge areas. The feels like temperature at the airport is 99 degrees. It's 91 degree temperature with a 72 degree dew point. That means your relative humidity is 53%, and it already feels like it's 99. We could make a run at 105 for heat index today in the metro Orlando area. Downtown is not much better right now at 96, and again, they have a bit of a south wind, but the dew points have come up with the south wind, and that's the thing I want to kind of pass along, is that the south winds are having an impact on what it really feels like outside, and it's not a good impact. It's going to feel even hotter and hotter, and this kind of heat index or feels like temperature is expected at least tomorrow and maybe even Wednesday afternoons. The next chance for any showers and storms in the forecast is not until Thursday. Feels like it's 96 degrees already in the Leesburg area. Here again, we're flirting with triple-digit heat indices in Tampa, 98 degrees in downtown, 98 near the Bradenton, Mango, Seffner areas. Out towards Dover and Plant City, it feels like it's 97. A little bit farther south along the coastline, look, I mean, even, Bayshore Gardens, Sarasota, 94. Again, it's a southwest wind, but it's not much cooler there. The Venice area coming in at 94 degrees as well. Up in Marion County, it feels like it's 95 right now in the Ocala area. Inverness 96, Crystal River 93, in Citrus County towards Spring Hill 96, Zephyr Hills 95. Not pleasant, slightly cooler in Brevard County, except right off of Port St. John. Look at that, 99, 91 degree temperature, the dew point of 72. So brutal heat I can't think of another way to describe it. I keep saying brutal heat, excessive heat, however you might want to put it, but it's a problem for the next couple of days, friends. So if you're not tolerant to the heat, right, whether that's medically, you just don't want to be outside, I would avoid the midday sun for the next couple of days as well. We're not going to get much better outside. Let's take a look at what has been happening with our drought monitor. I think the easiest way to bring this up is I'm just going to go to a blank regional map, and then I'll bring up the heat index, the monitor, and then come back into this. So again, the rain that we had last week did some good, but we're still struggling a bit here. We are at least abnormally dry in all locations. That is the kind of lighter brown that you see, but you get into the yellows, the oranges, and the reds, and those are droughts still. So we have anywhere from a slight drought to an extreme drought. We don't have the excessive drought at this point in time, the maroon, but basically out of the 4 categories of drought, we have category 1, category 2, and category 3. And obviously what we've seen lately is not helping things, right? As hot and dry as it's been, and unfortunately, at least in the short term, I don't have a lot more rain in the forecast to help things out. So situation that will bear watching here over the next couple of days and over the next couple of weeks is, again, we're not in our sea breeze pattern as of yet to really help the thunderstorm chances. So we're gonna have to wait and see how long that's gonna end up being. Now let's get back to our storm system here that's right now in the heart of the country, but will eventually push some showers and storms across the area. I always bring this up here during the CFLW show if it's significant weather that concerns me for loss of life. And this is a scenario that'll be developing today from central sides of Oklahoma into the northwest side of Arkansas, southeast Kansas, southwest Missouri, basically right along I-44 up towards Springfield, if you know that area. So you're taking Springfield to Tulsa and then back into Oklahoma City. That is the corridor where we could have some strong long track tornadoes. We have a 4 out of 5 on the risk from the SPC for today. Again, that is a very high-end severe weather threat, all modes of severe weather. We're not only talking about some EF2 to EF5 tornadoes as a possibility, but you're looking at maybe 3 to 4 inch size hail as well, and some winds even outside of some of the main thunderstorm complexes that could be gusting over 70 miles an hour. This is the significant tornado risk for today. Friends, it's extensive, all right? This is a very large polygon that the Storm Prediction Center would put out to say, look, within 25 miles of any given point in this polygon, there's a greater than 10% chance of an EF2 to EF5 tornado. That's what this polygon represents. So again, towards Kansas City and Columbia and Jeff City, Missouri, back towards Springfield, Wichita, Kansas, there's Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Fort Smith, just northwest of Little Rock. And this does get into the metro Dallas area, Dallas-Fort Worth included in this. So could you imagine the opportunity for some large tornadoes in Oklahoma City and Dallas and Kansas City for today? It's out there. If you know anyone who lives in these areas, please make sure that they're weather aware. It is one of those really significant days. The significant hail threat goes even farther north and south, right? And again, that's significant damaging hail threat. It's been very rare that I've seen these large of significant tornado and hail polygons, right? Typically they're like this one, which is the wind threat. It's a little bit more confined, but still significant wind is possible there. So you get the idea. The I-44 corridor, as I've mentioned, I'm not sure that they've hoisted any watches as of yet. Okay, so they just put out the first one right now. So that's a tornado watch that just came up for, again, the areas we talked about. But what I always like to talk about here is when I bring up what are the impacts, right? 4-inch size hail, softball size hail, the 70-mile-an-hour winds, and again, those strong long track tornadoes. They're not considered a particularly dangerous situation. That's like the top 5% of all watches that the SPC puts out. They do not take it lightly to make it a PDS watch. If you do see that one is considered a PDS watch, you really, really have to pay attention. But today, are we pushing a possibility that down the road they issue a PDS watch? It's a possibility. And again, already numerous severe thunderstorms are developing. And here's the problem with these. If you guys know weather a little bit, these are discrete thunderstorms. They're by themselves. These are the ones that can flip a tornado in a hurry here in the Southern Plains in May. So it's a big time severe weather threat for them. There'll actually be a secondary risk of some severe storms in portions of the Tennessee Valley into the Carolinas for today as well. That's the I guess got to switch it back to the categorical here. That's this area right here. Now tomorrow, that risk does push farther south and east. It's an enhanced risk, or 3 out of 5 right now, but it could also ultimately become a moderate risk, or 4 out of 5 into the reds. And again, that would be like west Kentucky, Tennessee, northern Mississippi, northwest Alabama with the biggest risk. And then on Wednesday, the storms fizzle a bit as intensity, but we'll finally start to get in an opportunity. Now look, I don't expect a lot of rain and storms in our area Wednesday, right? We are under a general thunderstorm risk from the SPC, but I'll show you the models. More than likely, it's not going to be until Thursday that we start to get at least the opportunity for an isolated shower and storm. But big time severe weather threat. Finally, that system going to be pulling in. So let's take a look at the models, and then I've got, of course, got some forecasts for you guys as well. Again, as always, if you're in the comment section below, let me know what's been going on. If you're here, thanks for taking a quick second and hitting that like button for me. Helps out the channel more than you think. The more that you guys drop comments in the comment section, the more that you like, and of course, the more that you subscribe, the more that YouTube recommends this channel on people's homepages who don't know that we exist, right? So that interaction is quite key, actually, more than you guys think. So I appreciate those who do take a quick second to, first of all, just comment and say hi. That's the reason why I'm doing this, so that we can have the interaction. But secondarily, because it does help to support the channel if you'd like to see this, channel continue. I appreciate you guys doing that as well. All right, so let's bring up the HER model is not going to help us. We're too far out in time. I'm going to bring up the NAM model, which is going to be still a high resolution model, but it's going to take us out far enough in time where we should start to see the beginnings of this system move its way into the area, switch over to the model timeline as well, and then we'll take a look at the GFS. Now, look, I don't want to overstate the opportunity of rain and storms that we're going to get on Thursday. There will be a few. There will be some areas where we will have some decent downpours and a fair amount of lightning, but it's not going to be completely widespread. You'll take a look at these rain chances and you'll go, well, what are you talking about? It's at least there. Am I expecting it to be a big time, heat busting, again, drought busting, days long rain chance? Absolutely not. Now, of course, today is the 19th. So the NAM model is only going to get us out till Wednesday night, but the HER model would get us out only until Wednesday morning. But by Wednesday evening, again, you don't see much on the model. And I just wanted to point this out because, again, even though the SPC has us under a general thunderstorm risk for Wednesday, I actually think Wednesday is just going to be brutally hot and dry again, right? South winds coming up ahead of a weakening storm system moving into the southeast. So let me show you the GFS model now, which, again, we'll be able to go out a lot farther in time. I'll take it out until Friday. Why not? Let's do that. And then we'll look at how this is going to play out. So 90s, they're not going anywhere. Potentially a couple of spots, especially along the coast, could fall back into the 80s once this weak system passes by. Rain chances, they're going to be there on Thursday, but it's not going to be significant in most areas. But here's how it plays out as we get into Thursday. So again, for today, dry, tomorrow, dry. Here's Thursday on the Wednesday on the GFS model. Again, maybe a couple of showers slipping in the evening hours near Jacksonville, maybe St. Augustine, but those actually die out once we lose the heat of the day. It's not like they're going to keep pushing south, during the overnight hours into Thursday morning. We're going to have to regenerate these storms with the heat of the day on Thursday afternoon. So here you go. Here's 5 o'clock. And again, we could pulse these up. Could a storm be stronger? It's a possibility, right? So on the GFS model, and again, we're only going to get a 3-hour jump here, but from the 5 to 8 o'clock hour, you see that the storms develop I-4 to I-95 and then move south and east. That doesn't mean that we won't get some storms across US 19 and I-75. I have at least a low-end chance for a few isolated showers and storms there, but I do think the better chance is going to be I-4 to I-95 on Thursday afternoon. So once again, Thursday, you can see the storms billow up. Right there, Daytona Beach, Deltona, Sanford, Orlando, towards Titusville, Merritt Island, and then push south and east, Palm Bay, portions of Osceola and Polk counties. Again, the I-75 corridor, we could get a few showers there. Don't get me wrong. Even out in the Lake County, Yahalla, Mascot, on over towards Sumter County of the Villages, the chance will be there. And let's hope we all get some. And then that dies back out. And then for Thursday, a little bit farther south with that boundary kind of stalling out there, but potentially our far southeast areas, I'm talking about, southern Osceola, maybe southern Brevard, Indian River counties, could allow a few more storms to develop there on Friday afternoon, So again, a little bit wetter Thursday, 20 to a 30% chance in most spots, potentially a few more storms in our southern areas on Friday. If nothing else, will break the heat just a little bit out of what we're seeing. Again, is it a tremendously impactful system? No. Is it going to do a little bit of good for us? Yes. Take a look at our temperatures, friends, over the next 3 days. Here it is in Orlando. Tomorrow, 96, the daytime high, but the feels like temperature will be in the triple digits. You have to stay very vigilant being in the outdoors in the afternoon hours. The sunscreen, the hats, the sunglasses, finding the shade, drinking plenty of water, and staying hydrated is a must across all of our area over the next couple of afternoons. Today included as well, all right? 100 to 105, the feels like temperature. It's no better Wednesday. Again, I don't have any rain in the forecast. I have a lot of sunshine and hazy sunshine at best, but again, 100 to 105 for a daytime high. Here comes the few storm chances coming in on Thursday. It's a 30% chance, 92 on Thursday. I'm hoping and believing that we will see a little bit cooler weather in the Metro Orlando area as we get into Friday behind the light storm chances. For the Lakeland area, again, interior locations, 96 the daytime high tomorrow, a heat index right around 104 at peak. But still, mid-afternoon hours, no bueno to be outside. It's not going to be a lot of fun. Outside workers, even playing that round of golf, not fantastic. Hot, even a little bit breezier in the Lakeland area on our Wednesday. That'll be a south wind, 10 to 15 miles an hour with some higher gusts. Then a 30% chance for some isolated storms on Thursday. And even then, again, we're still going to have a south wind the majority of the day, the daytime high of 94. Even along the coast, the west coast, St. Pete, the heat index tomorrow near 100 and a high of around 90 degrees. Mostly sunny skies, still dry Wednesday, again 90, and just a 20% chance for an isolated storm. Again, west coast areas, there's going to be many dry locations on Thursday, but it's not going to be completely dry. So I put in that 20% chance, still 91 degrees on Thursday. And then we flip it to the East Coast for our friends in Palm Coast up in Flagler County. Look, even there, it's still really hot the next couple of days. 93 tomorrow with a heat index of 102, sunny and hot on Wednesday, 95 the daytime high, and then a 20% chance for an isolated storm on Thursday. And again, temperatures coming down a bit, 89, and hopefully even a few more degrees cooler on Friday there in the Palm Coast area. Going back over to the weather computer, so again, you get the idea. Couple more days here to have to deal with things. I want to show you guys kind of the overall, what it might look like here in the next 6 to 10 days. So again, the temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days. So this is starting Saturday of this week till mid next week. It does not even include the heat that we're seeing right now. This is the 6 to 10 day long range forecast, okay? You have a better than average chance and a pretty darn high chance to continue to see temperatures running above average. While we might get a slight reprieve from the heat late week and into the early part of the weekend. In a general sense, the heat will continue to be with us here through at least mid of next week. Again, a 10-day forecast. Precip outlook wise, again, slightly better rain chances. That's good news, but it's gonna have to come with the next system about this time next week. Because between now and the end of this weekend, I don't see a lot of rain in the forecast. So what we're really picking up on is like days 8, 9, and 10 to try and get another system in here like we did 2 weeks ago to provide us a few days with an opportunity for some rain. We'll talk a lot more about that in the Friday show, but it's going to really be next week if we're going to hopefully get a little bit more rain and storms back into the area. All right. Again, on this Monday, temperatures right now, upper 80s, lower 90s at the hour, right? Bring back on our timeline here. And again, we're only going up from there. Feels like numbers, the heat index, some 96s, some 99s right now towards the Winter Haven area in downtown Orlando. Friends, the heat is going to be brutal. Hi, Blue Goose. Good to see you. 90 degrees, 61% humidity. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you know, that humidity is actually slightly higher than other spots, but the dew point in Orlando right now is 72. Look, humid air is 70-degree dew points or higher. That's mid-summer, late summer humidity values, which is why the feels like temperatures are now finally begin to climb. Remember on, last week's shows, we talked about on Monday and Friday, look, it was going to be hot, but the humidity wasn't up enough where we really had a feels like temperature that was going to be an issue. Well, now that's changed. Now these south winds have cranked in enough heat and humidity where it's going to be a problem. It's been a problem over the weekend, but it's going to be even more of a problem here as we get into this afternoon, tomorrow, and Wednesday afternoons as well. Blue Goose, I really appreciate you coming in, and I really appreciate you taking a quick second and hitting that commenting as well. Thank you for doing that. I really do appreciate those who take a second to say hi to me here when you guys are watching. Friends, I think that's going to do it for the show. But I know Blue Goose jumped in here, but we've been going on for about a half hour now, and it's going to be hot. We've talked about that. So coming up in Friday's show, we'll recap the storms, hopefully that we've had in the area Thursday. We'll talk about if there's additional showers Friday, but I do believe that as we get into next week, we'll have a more progressive pattern, meaning better shower and storm chances across our area again to try and cool us down a bit, but also bring us some rain that we need. Again, the rain a couple of weeks ago really helped out. We needed that, but now we've been back under a dry pattern. The drought is going to continue to be an issue. The wildfire threat is going to continue to be an issue. We're getting closer to hurricane season, by the way. Nothing to talk about as of yet. Obviously, if there's any kind of tropical interest, we'll cover that here on CFLW The Show. But at this point in time, things are looking pretty good there. Potentially down the road, as we get towards the far end of the month, we might have a little bit more to discuss in the Western Caribbean. I'm always keeping an eye on that. If you want more in the tropics, you can always go to the Media Mundo channel where I cover the Caribbean, but anything that would impact us here in Central Florida or any hint of anything that could be developing that could impact us, we'll obviously cover it here on the channel as well. Friends, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for taking a quick second and liking this live stream. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm back Friday at 1 o'clock for the latest edition of CFLW The Show. Until then, you guys take care, and I will see you then, friends.